Welcome back, everybody. Got another player interview. I'm joined with my boy Andrew, and we got University of Houston legend, the greatest school in Texas, Derek Parish. How you doing, Derek?
I'm doing good. How about yourselves?
I'm pretty
Doing
good, man.
I'm doing good. You know, it's finally heating up in Texas. It's been cold for a while.
Yeah, I know. It's getting a little humid outside too.
Did you enjoy spring practice, all that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, actually, funny fact, I didn't participate in it because I went under double hip surgery back in January.
Ouch.
Because I found out I played the whole season on 2 stress fractures in my pelvic bones. So I had to get that repaired, but I had just gotten cleared like 2 weeks ago, so I'm fully go now.
There you go. You know, it's actually a funny story. We told you before we got on that we interviewed Latrell Banks in August. We actually interviewed another guy that I think you know. He was at Wisconsin, Colin Wilder.
Yeah.
And well, you know, we just got Houston connections everywhere here now. So we actually interviewed him December, I think it was. Adam, I think that sounds right. And he was telling me that when he was playing against Minnesota in the season finale, when he got ejected for a so dirty hit, you know, I'm a defensive guy. I was a defensive guy in high school. I don't even know what a good hit is anymore. But he said it was a blessing in disguise that he got ejected, because after he went to the locker room, he found out that like he herniated one of his discs in his spine or something like that. And that's crazy how that works, though. But hey, man, it's good to hear that you're healthy. Good to know that, you know, I assume you're ready for 2022 now.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
You know, I was kind of looking at your bio before. Are you going to be like a 6-year senior, if that makes sense? Because you redshirted freshman, and I think you got that extra year of eligibility because of COVID.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm taking that COVID year. You know, I had plans of coming out this past season, but like I said, I needed to be healthy, like all that. So, you know, I had that blessing to have that other option for another year. So I went ahead and took it.
There you go. Good stuff. I guess let's kind of like go back. I think Adam mentioned it. You're a Pearland legend. So let's go back to some of those days. When you were coming out of high school in Pearland, what would you say, like, what was your recruiting process like? You know, rivals 24/7, their rankings are all over the place, but like you were a 3-star guy. It seemed like you were Houston through and through. What was that process like for you?
It was pretty smooth. I mean, going into high school, track was really my main sport at one point. I was a sprinter. I did the 4x1, the 1 and the 2. And my first year on varsity was sophomore year. And that was really, after that year, that was really when like recruiting started coming in. But overall, it was pretty smooth because U of H offered me at the end of that off season after sophomore year. And I think 3 months after I committed. So it was between A&M was the second school that was recruiting me. And I really didn't wait. I kind of jumped the gun on U of H because that's when Herman was the head coach. The H-Town takeover was big. And he just came from Ohio State. I was like, all right, I'm gonna, you know, I like what he's got going. And so I committed. I stayed loyal through the whole recruiting process. I mean, I really didn't talk to any other coaches, but I mean, kind of just stayed still with U of H the entire time in my career at Pearland. You
know, Colin was kind of telling us the same thing back in December. He was like, you know, back in that 2016, 2015 era when Herman was coming in, the big thing was he was essentially buying in on the entire city of Houston, basically trying to convince almost everybody in the city to just stay put. So it's we got more connections on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Curious,
that was the big
why,
thing.
Because Colin decided to leave, obviously, as you know, after Herman left. What made you want to stay at Houston?
You know, I'm gonna be real. I really had doubts because he had left in that December, and signing day was, I think, late January, early February. And it was like, you know, once you decommit that close to signing day, you know, recruiting classes are all filled up. You really can't fit in anywhere. So I was like, kind of just got to ride it out. And plus, you know, Applewhite stepped up as head coach. So it was like, there was a coach on staff that I knew had, you know, connection with through the recruiting process. So it wasn't a total buggy, but, you know, you kind of feel uneasy when you commit and then the one that recruited you heavy up and dip, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a little uneasy, but, you know, worked out.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy to have you. I know this season was a big success. Y'all kind of brought back that old, third word defense that I'm sure we've all, come to love over the years. So my question is, what do you think was the biggest difference between this year and last year? Was it just COVID, or what clicked, I guess, to bring on that?
Really, just like you said, Andrew said, you got to be a defensive guy, and I'm speaking in that terms. But just like unity on our defense, guys flying around with the ball, understanding the playbook, working for one another, like really, really understanding your role and your job and trusting the brother next to you. Like it all played in. And once you at first it was 7 guys bought in, you need all 11, and it got to 8, 9 guys. And once it got to all 11, we started really producing, climbing the rankings and all these like third down conversions, I think run yards defended, like less touchdowns scored, all that started climbing. And I think that was because of what we all did together as a unit. So I think honestly, and a shout out to Coach Belk too. He's a great coach. He's the one who really instilled that kind of mindset into us. So I think it was really just the culture of it. Everybody buying into the culture.
So this might sound like a stupid question, but one of my buddies from high school, he was the equipment manager at UH for a while. Connor Wright. Does that name sound familiar?
Yeah, that's my dog. That's my dude.
He was my guy back in high school, and during 2020, I'm not gonna say he was trying to spill secrets to me, but we communicated a little bit. And he was talking about what it was like inside the locker room during COVID times, basically saying that everybody at UH was abiding the rules that NCAA put in place, that UH put in place, that they were doing essentially everything that they could. But whenever games were getting canceled, he told me that there were media reports saying that it was UH football people that were infringing on, COVID restrictions, being out when they're not supposed to, not being being close quarters when they're not supposed to. Would you kind of agree with that, with what he said, basically saying media was taking a lot of things out of proportion?
Yeah. I mean, it's during that time it was frustrating. Games getting canceled. Because I remember we were just doing our last meetings before traveling up to Baylor, and then finding out that, hey, they don't have any alignment, we're not going to play. So I mean, there's a lot of frustrations in that, but I would say the media kind of overdid it a little bit, because I mean, it wasn't, COVID's real, definitely, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I mean, it wasn't a wildfire. You know what I mean? There were times where 2 weeks, a bunch of guys would get it, kind of separate from the not be in the building for a little bit. But outside of those 2 weeks, a month, it wasn't like I said, suppressed wildfire that like a zombie apocalypse. Everybody wasn't getting, infected or getting COVID. But I mean, yeah, precautions were made. We still followed the rules, half the team would work out here and then the other half work out here to limit the groups and keep a certain amount of numbers in the same room, So I'd agree with that in a sense. It was a little over misconceptuated.
Now I
Did y'all
think
say as players, did y'all do a lot of policing yourselves of your teammates? A little bit. It was kind of just hey, don't do anything stupid,
I mean, in a sense, but I mean, you got to realize just a bunch of 19 to 22-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do that, especially when you're being told not to do anything. It kind of makes you want I'm gonna do this. You tell me not to, in a sense.
We see things on social media a lot. We see how media is a lot of times. And I feel like a lot of media was trying to pressure Dana into believing that he was in the hot seat and all that. COVID year, 2019 was transition. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But, that's just what we see in newspapers and tweets. What would you say? How would you describe Dana in the locker room as a person? His energy. What does he What does he bring to a field that lights a fire to players? Because it just feels like everybody in the locker room just loves him right now.
Oh yeah, I mean he brings off pure energy. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, like you said, the media overplay stuff, but I'm sure you've seen all the videos of him breaking his headset, getting wild on the field. I mean, yeah, people from the outside really don't understand what that is, but that's energy. That's passion for the game that he loves to coach. like what he loves to coach on us. Like, you know, he's a great locker room guy. He loves his players. Like, you know, he's all about ball, and you know, it makes it easier for us to buy into him and all that hot seat BS. I mean, yeah, I was looking a little rough the first year or two, but I mean, how many head coaches go to a new school and first season, 2 seasons to be successful? You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was more about just us trusting him and trusting his beliefs and his process.
Have you ever been to his house? Because let's be honest, we've also seen the photos of him like after the Rice game, he posted the photo on social media, like with the bucket next to his pool. After the Birmingham Bowl, he also has the trophy. Like, did he let you all come over to his place and like do the same thing?
Yeah, man. He's like you said, he's a player's coach. Like he's a great guy. He's got a pad, man. He lets players over there all the time. Like, there's no like, I don't want to say there's not like a brick wall between him and us, in a sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally got
you. Know, he's a real cool dude.
That's good, though. I mean, it's funny you mentioned that passion that he brings. We got to talk about that SMU game because, I mean, it's like the height of passion.
You may not realize this, but the three of us were on that field right after that final whistle blew.
At the same time, yes.
What? That's my world, man. That atmosphere was electrifying.
I hit you on the shoulder pad as I was running on. You obviously didn't recognize me. Yeah, I did.
What? Oh, I was in pure euphoria, man. I was just running around looking at everybody.
I got photos right here from that same day. Like, it was insane. I was next to Clayton. I was next to, you know, D'Anthony Jones, and some of those guys were on the, I don't know if you were there, but they were like on one of the equipment boxes. They had the sign going. Like, it was like
signs?
Yeah, like that was like, oh my God, I gotta get this photo ASAP because I feel like I'm absolutely embarrassing myself right now. But like, you know, it was funny because Adam was in the student section. I was able to sneak from my spot to the student section, and we just saw that Marcus Jones return like at that very time. And
yeah,
I'll be honest with you, I was expecting to just be like a routine return. Like, so I wasn't recording, but I was like, Adam said he got it on his phone.
I have it on video. And then I ran out onto the field still recording, and my phone died. I was so upset.
What? Yeah, but no, like that last kickoff return, and I was on the kickoff return unit that play, and we was just telling him, like, bro, you're gonna make a shake like you always do. Like, there was no like, oh, I hope he does it. Like, you know, all other 10 guys had faith. Like, if we get our blocking assignment, we got to do. He's gonna tote this out. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna bring it back. So I mean, it became routine, and him scoring it was routine in a sense.
So here's me with Clayton right here.
Oh, that's sick.
And here are some of the guys that were on there. I see D'Anthony on here. I think I see Logan Hall on here, and they were having the. I know that's really bad, but they had the Red Bull. They had like a red. I couldn't. It says let's go win some games. Red Bull gives you wins. Okay, that's what they said.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
Like, that was, yeah. But there's me in front of those guys also. But like,
that's awesome. That's small world. We was on the same
stage. That day was just absolutely insane. Like you were saying, like for us that ran on there, like we were on euphoria. I felt like I was on a cloud. I couldn't even.
No, really, for real.
Yeah. What's it like for the players? Like, like when you see everybody running out there, like, do they tell y'all, like, you know, are they worried about y'all? And then, like,
oh no, I mean, I'm sure coaches get live too. I wouldn't doubt it, because I mean, that's think about you as a kid watching college football, and you see a crazy upset and the whole stadium storming. Like, you know, you dream of being in situations like that, and for it to actually happen on a team that, you know, let's be real, we haven't beaten in a few years, and they was coming in like, oh, they the number one in the conference, yada, yada, yada. And that happens, like, it was just like, you know, you feel every emotion under the sun in that sense, because, I mean, you work so hard to get that W, and to have someone on the team make a play, and just like, it just, a lot of things just rushed into it. It's like, you're not even really processing it. You just go with it, you know? Mm-hmm. So
just that whole game as a whole, like, I mean, let's be honest, SMU did have one of the top offenses in the country going into that game. And Tanner Mordecai, you know, even though he still threw for a lot of yards, that was still his like season low up to that point. And it was just one of those games where it was just like, it felt like a true bloodbath. Like that was just one that you could just tell that both teams just absolutely had to win that game. And you know, we all talk about Marcus Jones. He's he won the award for most versatile player in the country, but that was just a game where it's like everybody on that team deserved props because towards the end, especially in that fourth quarter, the defense got the stops that they wanted to. But like I remember in 2016 when we beat Louisville, I had an emergency to take care of, so I couldn't go to that game and rush the field on that day. So this game, I told myself I was not going to. He was at that game, and he gave me stick early last season for not being at that one. But like I just told myself I was like, going up to that game, I was talking to some people that were part of the alumni association, and they're kind of like all saying the same thing. They're like, we're just gonna storm it. Like there were some alumni pages saying like, yeah, post game we're gonna be at the 50-yard line. Not even like don't even question it. They just go in there assuming that's gonna win. Like that day, just that just felt like a for real like third ward's back. That felt like a we're back. It felt like a Houston versus everybody type day. Like
yeah, definitely.
I could not remember being that hype ever at a football game in my life.
No, yeah, I agree. Especially like SMU, they're right down the road, Battle I-45, so they say. So, like yeah, man, it was that's a memory I'll have forever, definitely.
And we don't like SMU, so
no, we don't. No, we don't.
So here's this wasn't part of our questions, but I just got to know. So we were having like a rivalry talk a couple months ago, and we kind of like were debating, well, who's UH's real rival? Is it SMU? Is it Rice? I mean, could it be SMU because, well, let's just be honest, they're not going to be in the conference anymore after this season. Could it really be Rice? Because let's just be honest, Rice is Rice. We're not really worried about it. In your eyes, who is UH's real rival?
I'll say, the Bayou Bucket, yeah. But I say SMU Cincy between those two.
Really?
Cincinnati, yeah. And I think that's more like a low-key rivalry. Yeah, like more personal for the players. Like, like Cincy comes around.
Just because Cincy got the hype all last season. They got the hype going into the season. And right. Granted, like, let's be honest, the AAC title game was tough, but like that was still proof that like, it was a real game, especially towards the end of that. We love the fight that happened, like that was still showing towards the end. Clayton was still, making some plays that entire game, so it's I think this upcoming season, it's probably going to be even more personal, to be honest.
Yep. Most definitely.
Yeah. But speaking of Cincy, we see that they made it into the college football playoff, which is, is big for a group of 5 to finally get there. I want to ask you as a player, what do you think about expansion? Do you think the CFB playoff should be expanded, or are you happy where it's at?
Yeah, I mean, like what they talking about? 8 teams going in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's many perspectives I think you could take on it. Say you add 4 more teams. That's 2 more games in the playoffs, right? That is in the bracket. Adds a couple more games. So then that'd probably end up being 14, 15 game season. So you probably have to take, and I'm thinking in retrospect, like players' health, because college football is, you put on pads twice in a week. So, when you get to like week 12, 13, 14, you're going to have to, take more care of your bodies. And I'm sure it can be hard later in the season, but I think if you do that, you probably got to take maybe out of conference game, out of schedule, maybe and people say, and I could also go into where like maybe all conferences, every champion out of each conference goes. That's going to take in like, say Georgia's number 2 because Alabama beat them in the SEC title. Georgia's going to be snubbed because they didn't win their title, and you got a team that's like ranked 12 go in or ranked 22 go in when Georgia going to tax them. So, I still don't think there's like a justice system for teams that rightfully deserve to go and teams that are ranked. Like how they take top 4, go to the first 4. Like I don't see how it'll be like top 8, say rank 7, didn't even go to their title game, like conference title game.
Mm-hmm.
How does that justify for the people who did win their conference title game in a Power 5? You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree with you.
I think there's a lot of conversation that needs to go into, but I mean, that's for the big man in suits. That's above my pay grade.
So basically, what I'm kind of is you're, I don't want to say paranoia, but you kind of get the sense that if we did go to 8 teams, the committee would put in a system of like, hey, if you're a Power 5 title winner, you get an automatic bid. Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah. I mean, not us not being Power 5. I think that's kind of lame in a sense, but I think it's also right because it gives a shot to be teams who win a shot to be a contender in it, in a sense. I mean, I think I don't know. It just goes back and forth on conversation with like how they could do it, and I think there's many ways they could do it, but I also don't think there's also a right way to do it yet. Does that make sense?
A difference? You think you might see like some upsets or the same teams?
Yeah, and I think that's what the way if they do that with the Power 5, like conference titles, I think that would give a better chance for upsets. Like given, say like Cal, they win Pac-12 or whatever, they got a chance to play Georgia, Alabama, whoever wins that side. I think it's a big opportunity for good games to happen. But I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they really will do it.
Well, let's take Utah, for example. I mean, because I had an argument basically saying that I thought the 4 best teams in the country last season truly were the 4 best teams. Alabama and Georgia were just better than everybody else. No disrespect to a team like Utah, but if Utah had 3 losses earlier that season, and yeah, they definitely recuperated themselves so well, but do I see them anywhere near the same playing field as a Georgia, Alabama? Absolutely not. Do I even see them as the same playing field as, maybe Cincy, but like in terms of like Michigan, I think Michigan would still beat the likes of a Utah. So that's just where my mindset is, where like it does go back to the whole thing of like it could make an interesting matchup because Utah obviously did hang in there with Ohio State in the Rose Bowl for a really, really long time towards the end. But it just comes down to the matter of like, just because you're a conference title winner doesn't necessarily mean that you have the resume that some of these other non-title winners, kind of goes back to what you're saying. It just ain't the same.
Right. But then you got to see when we played Auburn, not a lot of people was expecting us to beat Auburn.
No, that's true.
I mean, like games like that, like I think it could be.
And that's why no disrespect to the Birmingham Bowl, because the Birmingham Bowl trophy it's beautiful, but like part of me was thinking to myself, like against a 6-6 team, like I'm not trying to throw shade at Auburn, but it's like that bid felt disrespectful, to be honest with you. It's like, Frisco was held to a higher standard than Birmingham was. Like, why wasn't Houston in the biggest bowl game that a G5 team could be in? That was not a New Year's Six. You know what I mean?
I agree with you on that. Yeah, and I think that's where lane politics come into play. Like, they think like, oh, this caliber team might match up with this lower good caliber team. Like, I mean, I think it's a lot of politics that go into it. But that's my view as a player.
There's nothing you do to convince me that UH would not have held up with UTSA or San Diego State last season. There's legitimately nothing you could tell me.
For those bowl games, I'm curious. Like, we always hear like some teams, they don't really want to be there, and they kind of take the game off because say like y'all lost in the conference championship, right? It was tough. Y'all could have took it. Do you see that a lot, that some teams, they just don't want to play in this bowl game, so they kind of just mail it in?
Yeah, it's honestly, I didn't play too much in the Auburn game because, like I said, I was at that point, like I was a little jacked up with my hips and stuff. I was loaded with all kinds of medicine just to survive in that game and be able to play. But I mean, that's the kind of vibe we got from Auburn, honestly. Like, oh, they don't want to be here. They think it's going to be an easy game on us. Like, so, and I think, mindsets in that sense have a big effect on how you play. So that's probably how we got a little early punch on them in the mouth. Like, all right, UH came to play. but Auburn kind of came like, oh, it's a practice game. So, I mean, I agree with you on that, definitely.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the transfer portal, and how big of a weapon do you think it's becoming for teams? Because let's just be honest, it's impossible to even keep up with it anymore, just because of how insane it is. Going back and forth. It felt like Alabama and Georgia, they were trading players all of January.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, when that first came out, it definitely became the Wild West quick. Giving people who people who want to dip, but oh man, I got to sit out a year. Like now, give an opportunity, like I can dip and go play right away. All right, man. So, you see hundreds of thousands of players going to transfer portal. But I mean, I think it's good for college teams, definitely, but I think it's hurting high school recruits in a sense, because think about it, say, Power 5 school, hey, we need a DB who can come in to fill the depth chart, play right away if he can. They're going to go to the transfer portal rather than go to a high school down the street or out of state. So, I mean, I think it helps college teams, quick off the rip, like, hey, you need a player, portal, cool. You got Tate from another P5 school, and I think they can get my scholarship right away. But I think it's kind of hurting high school recruits in a sense, because scholarship rosters, like recruiting classes, are getting filled up more through JUCOs, like transfer portals, all that. So I mean, I think it's good. That's just me talking from a college player, but I'm sure if you ask a high school player, he's gonna think, man, that sucks. Like, getting screwed out of get an offer. But I mean, I think it's a cool chance for players, to get out of a bad situation or just want to try something new.
Yeah, I think it's good for teams that want to win like right away, like Houston. You have a good chance of doing something next season. And
that's what I'm saying. We've been utilizing the hell out of that. So
yeah, that's been great. I mean, look, hey, look, you got your guy Latrell out of there.
That's right.
You got the running back. What was his name? He was from Tombow, but he just came in from USC. Coming out with his name.
USC. He's a freshman.
He was a freshman.
He just
came into town.
And they're your teammates.
Manjack.
Okay, good. But
wide receiver, right? White dude.
He's running back.
I don't think he's on campus yet.
Well, he literally just announced his decision 2 weeks ago. So it was a week before the public practice that was at TDCU. So what would you say is a defensive player's favorite play?
As what position? Like a D lineman, linebacker?
I feel like as a linebacker, it can go both ways.
Anywhere where you get on a blitz, any kind of blitz.
I was gonna say I was kind of thinking more along the lines of a pick six, but hey, that works too.
Oh,
I feel
okay. Yeah,
I feel like
play you made. Okay,
yes.
Strip sack, fumble recovery.
I think one thing, but before we go into the pick six, actually, because that's actually our quick fire segment of the day, actually. But just because I'm curious, what is through almost every public televised game that was for UH last season, they're always talking about Doug Bell. They're talking about how Doug Bell's finally got this defense rolling. It's organized. It's very schematic. Players absolutely love playing in it. What makes his defensive scheme so useful? And why do players absolutely love it?
I mean, it's not boring. We're running something different every play. Like it's not your base defense. It's not always your regular coverages. Like we got like more than 3 formations, like play blitzes from both sides of the field, like different schemes, different ways to attack offenses. Like, it's fun because you're not in the same spot every play. You know what I mean? So, and plus, defenses like that, it raises your IQ on how to attack an offense and what like different shifts and motions. So I think it benefits him as a coach and us as players.
Is he a future college football head coach?
Most definitely. He's one of those coaches where he just starts talking and you get locked in, like eye contact, because you you're looking at listening to everything he's got to say because I mean it's real wisdom.
What's I say? Because like he's not very vocal to the media. That's one thing that I've noticed about him. But it does feel like every time that like there's like a defensive break and he's got defensive guys huddled up on the sidelines, you don't see a single player like just like lagging off. You never see that. It just feels like he's just under the command under everybody.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean he's he's a real players coach as well. Like he ain't got that brick wall up either. Like he's been a college athlete before and he knows what he's talking about. So whatever he's got to say is going to be important. It's going to help us win a game. So I think everybody on the defense just takes accountability and listening to him and trusting him.
All right, let's go back to the pick six. This is just what we do for every interview. We just take 6 quick fire questions, rapid fire, whatever you call it these days. So let's go ahead and just go to the first one. I was reading an article from the Houston Chronicle from back in like August, I think it was. Is it true that you once ate 7 pounds of steak?
Yeah, it was 110 ounces. It was for a steak eating competition between the O-line and the D-line.
D-line won it, I assume?
No, well, the whole competition, I think it was 10 O-line, 10 D-line. O-line won the total competition, but I won like the singular. Yeah.
Okay.
It was good. It was a good steakhouse too, man. I was grubbing.
That seems miserable. I would destroy a toilet after that.
I mean, I wasn't even sick. I went on the way home, I went to get gas. And you ever been to those nice gas stations where they got like the donut stands?
Yeah.
I ended up getting a donut, pumping gas.
I wouldn't have made it home. I would have used the restroom right there at the gas station. I went to a steakhouse like 3 weeks ago on the all-you-can-eat ones. I didn't even make it home.
Was it like a Fogo de Chao?
It was Fogo de Chao. That's what it was.
I'm actually going there for brunch on Sunday. So prayers up for me going to that. I love Fogo de Chao. What was the steakhouse that you guys went to?
Taste of Texas.
I love that. Well, I haven't been there, but all my friends have been there. They say that they absolutely love the hell out of it. What kind of steak we talking? We talking fillets? We talking prime ribs, ribeyes, everything?
Yeah. So the first one they start out with 5 steaks, and after the 5 steaks, it was just straight ribeyes, as much as you could eat. So the first one was a sirloin, second one was a ribeye, third one was a T-bone. No, third one was a New York strip, fourth one was a T-bone, and the fifth one was a tomahawk.
Oh no! How'd you make it through the tomahawk?
Dude, because bro, he pulled it out before. It was like, you get to the 5th steak, you're gonna eat one of these bad boys. Like, this is $100 steak. I said, I'm touching that tomahawk, bro. I'm touching that tomahawk. But like halfway through the tomahawk, it was like, bro, I was full. Like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get my mind right for the rest of this. But I ended up finishing the tomahawk and eating like half of a ribeye after, when the time ran up. It was like 2 hours.
How did you didn't feel sick? Not even next day, not even day after. So you just carried on next day like it was any average day.
Yeah, we had a lift the next day. I felt fine. Like I said, I had 2 donuts on the way home.
The donuts would have made you explode. It'll make any regular human explode.
Built different.
No, it was good, man. I want to do it again this summer.
Now, this ain't the second question, but I do got to know. I saw on that same article that you've essentially given up Popeyes and Whataburger. Have you still gone? Have you still gone that entire time since then that you've had either one, or have you cheated?
Oh no, I haven't had Popeyes since, but every now and then, you want a patty melt every now and then,
That was the next question.
Yeah.
What I was really about to ask. Is patty melt always the go-to at Whataburger?
Yes. Well, when breakfast comes around at 11, it's a different story. I get the jalapeno cheddar biscuit with sausage, egg, and cheese. I get 2 of them, hash browns, and an apple pie with a blue Powerade.
See,
sounds good.
We're going 7 pounds of steak, and now we're going for like the most insane midnight snack from Whataburger I think I've ever heard of my life. I just cannot imagine eating an egg biscuit with a blue Powerade, man. Like,
I usually just get the regular biscuit, but I had the jalapeno, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm hooked. I wish I had breakfast all day, every day, but
They should, because the breakfast burger, their breakfast burger is phenomenal. They need to make that and every day.
I know. It's seasonal, bro. I tell everybody, bro, when it comes out, you need to get it. Like that hits different. That's a good little go-to as well.
That just needs to be a thing that you just need to buy like 10 of and just put 9 of them in the freezer at that point. Like they're just that good.
Definitely.
Adam, you got the next quick fire?
Oh, yeah. Let me pull up the list. So, who's going to lead Sac Avenue in 2022?
Come on, man. Who am I to say about myself, man?
Got it?
I got it.
If we get D'Anthony on here and if we tell him that you make that claim, what's he going to say? Because he will
die on the hill that he'll claim it, bro.
He's been talking a lot. He's been talking a lot of smack on social media, saying that he's going to be AAC player, defensive player of the year. You know, he's talking a lot of talk right now.
I mean, yeah, that's just, you know, that's his aura. Like, you know, that's everybody's mindset in the D-line room. I mean, that's definitely my mindset, you know, just some, you know, projected a little differently. But yeah, we have them conversations every day. Like, no, I'm going to be the sack leader. Like, I'm going to be it. Like, so, I mean, it's all fun, good competition.
Is that how y'all got all the sacks last season?
Yeah, man. You know, competing for the sack lead is making everybody better. You know, wanting everybody to top each other on sacks. So,
you know, we need to find a Houston business out there that will do an NIL deal that will place incentives on who can get the most sacks week to week.
That's a good idea.
We need to find one. I mean, I don't care if it's Whataburger. I don't care if it's. I mean, I don't know what business out there is known for sacks. I mean, we need to do something here.
Yeah, I'm doing some research on that. Thanks for the idea. No, for
real. Favorite bar in Houston.
Favorite bar in Houston. I'd say either Little Woodrow's or it's not up yet, but 360. It was like a three-story bar. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's shut down now. I think it was called 6 Feet After It.
I think I do remember it. I think it was in Midtown. I think it was on Louisiana Street. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's right next to Dogwood.
It sounds familiar. If I recall, I think it was where the Jack and Gingers was. Maybe. Don't think so.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, that's my all-time favorite.
Yo, that Jack and Gingers place, they shut down too.
Really?
Yeah, they turned it into some hipster place called Wonder Bar. I looked into it.
Yes. I've heard about it. I heard it was cool. I heard it was fun.
I heard it's fun, but like, don't see me there. That's kind of what it is.
Oh yeah, I get you.
I got
a bar right behind it. 77 degrees. It's pretty fun too.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you been to Heights Beer Garden?
No, I haven't.
You got to go to it. That's my number one recommendation. Holman's Bar. I think they're owned by the same people that own Heights Beer Garden. Pitch 25. Always got to highly recommend that. Kirby's Ice House.
Okay.
Fanta. I'm just giving you names here, man.
Nice. Let me check them out.
What's the team hangout spot? Like, where does the team go the most?
I mean, really, you know, I don't want to throw nobody in the bus, but it's usually if they got a section somewhere, some club, you know,
okay,
somebody's birthday, you know, just that's really like where the most group of guys get together. But I mean, really just hanging out at each other's crib, really, you know, other than that. So
y'all play video games as a team?
Oh yeah.
Let's throw someone under the bus this time. Who's the worst video gamer on the team?
Shit, if we're talking sports, probably me. I play Warzone, but there's some dudes on the team who try hard Madden 2K. Like for instance, DA. I remember I took him on an official visit, bro. He 21 me so quick. Like he's a Madden
Warzone.
Like he plays Madden for real. So if we want to talk about the best, I'll give it to DA and Madden.
So DA's best, your worst. Come on, you can't be hard on yourself like this, man.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I just don't play Madden. I could definitely be some guys in the team in Madden, but like I said, if we want to run in Warzone, we can do that. Like,
who's the worst? Who's the worst player at Warzone? Who gets carried?
Probably Patrick Paul.
Yeah, he's a bot.
Yeah, he's a bot for real. Yeah, Patrick Paul.
Who would you say is the funniest teammate?
Gotta be Latrell Bankston. He makes me laugh. He never does a day where I don't laugh.
He was so funny. Like when we had him on,
bro.
He is the weirdest combination of extremely down to earth and like super funny at the same time.
Bro, right? I said the same thing. Like, there's no spot like where he doesn't chill. Like, we could be in meetings, practice, like in the cafe, in a locker room. Like he's gonna say something funny, but like mean it at the same time. I don't know, man. He's a funny dude. He's a good character.
So when we had him on, I asked him the same question. He said funniest teammate was Ruben Unije, and he said the worst video game player was also Ruben Unije.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about Ruben.
Oh, is he that bad that you don't? That you
forget?
Yeah.
He's not a video game player though, but that's not a bad answer. That's not a bad answer.
I just heard that he rages like every time he loses on 2K. That's just what I've heard. Okay, so I wrote an article on this last season about this one stadium, and I just want to know, you as a player, how much do you hate playing at the stadium? So from a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate playing at Rice Stadium?
Like a 4 or 5. I don't mind it, honestly.
Really? Is there any stadium? Is there any stadium that you don't like playing at?
UConn. No, I like UConn because they got grass. Is there any stadium? Nah. There's never really been a stadium where like I don't particularly like playing in. I mean, there's teams where I'm like, I'm not trying to travel. Like, I'm not trying to go to this town. Like, there's teams like that. But no, there's not really a stadium where like, no, I never really hate on stadium. I actually don't mind away games, honestly. But I like Rice because when you walk into the stadium, the perspective of it makes the field feel small, I guess, if that makes
true.
sense. So, I mean, if you can benefit that to your mindset, then make it work for you.
As a fan, I hated sitting there, to be honest with you. Like that stadium has not been renovated since the Cold War. I can almost guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, I bet. Don't they have like concrete seats and stuff like that?
Seats are concrete. Actually, hang on. While we are on that subject, I do want to show you something real quick. I took a lot of photos when I was over there, and everything about it was absolutely horrible in terms of the seats, the stadium itself. The field is actually nice. Like, the field does look really nice from the seats, but like they don't even have proper urinals in the bathroom. You literally got to piss on a wall over there.
Oh,
I mean, you think I'm joking? Like that's what it is right there. Like
that's like the metal urinals.
Exactly. Like that. Like this is this is what you find in Old Hicktown Spring over there. Like that's what you find.
Right.
Also, these are the seats over there. These are like from the upper level. Oh, wait, hold up. There you go. Like these are wooden seats.
Yeah. Nah.
Like
I mean, I will say the negative of it, like when you walk out the locker room, there is like a really like steep hill that you got to walk down. And like, I mean, I wouldn't think it's the safest for players walking in cleats, but I mean, I guess that's like a fact, like intimidating factor for the away team. But
based on their home record, I mean, I don't think it's intimidating for anybody.
No, you're not wrong.
So like, even though it's not also one of the questions, you're saying like we're not going to call out college teams unless you want to. What are some cities that you're like, I don't feel like traveling to that city?
UConn.
Really?
UConn.
Was that the main reason why they first came to mind whenever I asked you about the stadium thing?
Nah, yeah, because like, Connecticut's one of the oldest settlements in the country, and I swear, a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, we traveled over there, and I thought the hotel was haunted, bro. Like,
Oh.
What were they staying in? What were you staying in? Like a Best Western? I mean, what are we talking about?
it was a nice hotel. I just remember like looking down the hallways and like, bro, we're in The Shining right now. Like, I'm in a scene of The Shining. Like, and I mean, just the town is just so eerie. Like it's so eerie. Like, I love the stadium just because it's grass, because I prefer playing on grass. But I just, it was weird vibes for me. But other than that,
I just feel like going to Temple. Like even though it's Philadelphia, I just feel like a trip to Temple just doesn't sound fun.
oh yeah, Temple too. I forgot about Temple. We played Temple away this past season. Yeah. I mean, but really, it's just the travel, like just the flight in that sense.
Do you feel like it's jet lag whenever you go to the East Coast?
Oh no, I sleep like a baby there, but on the way back, I running wide awake on the way back, because especially with Navy, where it's like 3.5 hours of a flight, like just really those really East Coast teams, it's like kind of drag on the flight. But no, I really don't feel jet lagged. I really don't mind playing them either over there. But after the game, you get a dub, you're like, all right, bro, I'm ready to go home. Like, let's bounce.
You just want the Whataburger right away.
Nah, for real. No cap.
All right, so I'm curious if you could sign any NIL deal with any Houston business, who would it be?
They got a chubby short shop in the Heights. I'll sign with Chubbies. You know what Chubbies are?
I never heard of Chevy.
They're the extremely shortest of the shorts.
That's right, bro. I would sign an NIL deal with them so fast, just because like I have a lot of chubby shorts. Like I rock like their lounge shorts almost every day. But yeah, Chubbies all the way.
I'm gonna go ahead. Just be honest with you, since you are such a big chubby shorts wearing person, you would fit into Heights Beer Garden real nice. To be honest with you.
Okay, I definitely got to check them out then. I'm put that at the top of the list.
All right, man. Adam, what more you got for him?
I do have one question. I want to know who's wearing the single digit numbers for Houston.
So, let me see if I remember. So, I got 0. Tank Dell has 1. We actually did votes for the numbers today. G. Owens got 2. Clayton and Donnie Mutin got 3. Tazon's got 4. Hippolyte has 5. Who got 6? I think Keyshawn Carter got 6. 7's retired, am I right?
Yeah, Case.
Yeah. Case Keenum's right. 8 is Jace. I could be wrong. I forget. I just know added the orders mixed up, and these are the guys who definitely have single digits. 8 is Jace. Oh wait, no, Jace is 6. Keyshawn is 8. I'm sorry. 9 is Caesar, Nelson Caesar, and that's it.
Can you kind of explain that process for the people who don't know? Because I didn't know about it till today when I read about it.
I mean, yeah, today, like, because some guys left, so those numbers were available. They do a voting process. So whoever gets the most votes out of 4 people, say if there's, like today was 4 numbers were available, whoever gets the highest amount of votes gets to pick the first number. Second guy with the most votes gets to pick the second number. And then it goes on like that. So, yeah, really just a voting process between the players. Like, so they make it more team player oriented instead of just the coach assigning it. Kind of erases the politics out of it.
It's cool. Is a lot of politicking about it? Like, hey, I need this number.
Oh, yeah. Like, hey, vote me for 9.
I need number 0,
Yeah.
I feel like if somebody got voted and they took number 0, you would be like, nah, that ain't gonna work. I just feel like
we're gonna have
you just give me full vibes off that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to put on some gloves for it if that's the case. I mean, because I'm locked in with 0. Gotta be.
0's a cold number.
I think so too. I think
0 and 1. You can't be sorry and wear those 2 numbers. I feel like.
And I'm trying to make 0. You gotta fit an aura for having number 0 because Grant Stewart had 0 before me, and he was crazy. So, I'm trying to fill in that role, and the person after me needs to fill in that role. You know what I mean? Like, make it a standard for 0.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what would you say? With me and Adam both being UH guys, what should we expect this upcoming season? I ain't trying to put pressure on you. I'm just gotta know what do you think we should expect?
I'm one of those guys who kind of stay humble about it, but I can't call it. Might spoil it, but I say just bring your popcorn, man, and be excited because that's what we are. We're lit. We got something coming.
We're gonna see you on the field.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got 6.5 sacks last season, if I recall, right?
Yep.
Right. What if we were gonna be a gambling man here? What's your over under going into the season?
I gotta go. Like I said, I can't spoil it, but
I feel like we got to put somewhat of a handicap considering that you had all those, since you were essentially playing injured last season. Like, if we're talking non-injury, are we thinking like 9.5 at least? What do we?
Double digits. 9.5 is short. I gotta call it double digits.
You must be killing it in practice. Gotta be.
I mean, I definitely work hard. But...
do we have to check on Clayton's health? I mean, I just want to double check.
Oh, bro, there's a bubble around him. We touch him, we're kicked off the team. You know how that goes. Touching quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's allowed. They get that. That's why they get the red shirts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But no, man. Yeah, seriously, I got a big goal. I got big goals coming for this next season. So I say just tune in, man. It's gonna be good. I'm excited.
Well, we're in the middle of April, and I'm already waiting for September.
Me and Andrew, we're going to we plan on going to the home opener, and what's first game? UTSA, right?
UTSA,
yeah.
Yeah, we plan on going to that game. So
okay, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, we're gonna win, right? Because I don't want to drive 3.5 hours for nothing.
No shit, we don't want to drive 3.5 hours to lose either, man.
All right, so let's see. I might be doing some traveling this season. So the games I have in hand are UTSA for sure. I'll be at the Kansas one. That has to be a game that y'all got on y'all's calendar for the season.
Yeah, definitely.
Now look, because Adam has family from UT Austin, so I don't think he wants to go through a second consecutive season of seeing one of his teams lose to Kansas. Let's just put that out. Let's put it out there.
Sorry, brother. It might happen.
He's talking about Texas, not UH.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wait. So did you like UT growing up? Like, was that like?
Yeah, I was born in Austin. My dad went there. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But UH is where I'm.
He always likes to say, "I'll Texas back," and we're just like, "Nah, man. Like, just no. Like, you get cooked on the internet every time that happens." All right, man. Like, I've really enjoyed this a lot. This was a lot of fun. We spoke about eating 7 pounds of steak. It tastes of Texas, no less. Spoke about best bars in Houston. This was a lot of fun, man. Like, I had a lot of fun doing this.
Every UH guy is
a blast, man. Thank y'all for having me on.
This is a lot of fun, man. Anything you got us? Anything you got to ask for us?
Nah, man. If y'all would have me on again, I'm down. I'll be on again if y'all want.
We'll keep in touch, and I think what we're gonna do is, I think we both got homework to do. I mean, look, I know it's essentially midterms. Are you still attending school, or what's the academic plan for right now?
Yeah, I'm finishing up my last semester here in the spring.
Perfect. So I think what we're gonna do is, you're gonna hate this, but we're gonna have to do some homework. We're gonna have to find some places here. Find some businesses that are gonna put up those incentives, those NIL incentives. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it obviously feels like the Mattress Mag likes to spend a lot of money at the sports book. So, I mean, hey, you need a new couch. I mean, what do you need exactly?
Yeah, new TV,
new PC, something like that.
Yeah, I need everything, whole furniture, bro. I need new TV stand. I need a desk. You know,
When you game, are you Xbox, PC, or PlayStation?
I'm an Xbox.
Xbox, yeah.
But I grew up PlayStation though. Once the Xbox One came out, that's when I switched. I used to have the PS3.
Okay, I've been Xbox through and through. That's where I'm at. So.
You know, just because I'm just curious. Greatest video game of all time, go.
You said craziest video game of all time?
Greatest.
Greatest? I don't want to be cliche and say Call of Duty. So I'm a big Lego fan, right?
Okay.
I'm saying
Lego Star Wars, I feel like it's coming.
The Skywalker Saga, the one that just came out. I'm grinding it right now. I'm putting in hours on it. So I say anything in the Lego franchise. Like I had the most fun. Yeah.
That's the greatest? That's wild to say.
Yeah.
Did you have a GameCube growing up? Just curious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a GameCube. I had a DS. And that was it. Yeah.
I just knew that when you had the GameCube, you definitely played the Lego Star Wars games on that one too.
Oh yeah, the first one and the second one and the complete saga. And then when I found out they was dropping this, I pre-ordered it so quick, quick.
All right, man. This was a lot of fun. We gotta find businesses. We need to set a betting line for your over/under. I should, you know what? I think I need to go down the pecking order of the linebackers and all the D linemen. I think we need to start putting expectations for all of them.
Let's do it.
We'll have a transfer portal incentive for you.
That'd be fun. That'd make things interesting.
All right, man. Hey, Derek, thank you so much, man. This was a lot of fun. We would absolutely love to have you on again. Thanks, man. This was fantastic.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. You have a good one.